We are kicking things off right now with major news hitting the gaming world. Epic Games has just joined a growing list of companies facing penalties in Russia. The Tagansky Court of Moscow is continuing to issue fines to game developers and publishers, and now Epic Games has been hit with a 2 million ruble fine for violating data localization requirements for Russian gamers. This is a huge development in the ongoing regulatory crackdown on international game platforms. Legal and strategic shifts. Finally, we wrap up with the full picture on the Fortnite App Store situation. We confirm that Fortnite is returning to the App Store everywhere except for Australia, detailing the complex legal battle between Epic Games and Apple that is still far from over. Tune in now to get the full breakdown of how this epic legal fight is reshaping the mobile gaming landscape. Epic Games, the creator of the popular game Fortnite, has been among the companies recently penalized by the Tagansky Court of Moscow. The fines stem from a violation of regulations requiring the localization of personal data for Russian gamers. As a result of this violation, Epic Games is required to pay a fine of 2 million rubles to the Russian treasury. This action places Epic Games on a growing list of penalized game developers and publishers in Russia. This is not an isolated incident. The court has issued fines to 6 gaming companies since the beginning of spring, including Electronic Arts, Take-Two Interactive, and Embracer Group, all for similar data localization issues. While Roblox also received a significant fine, the basis for its penalty was different, related to the platform's promotion of extremist activity and the banned LGBT movement in Russia. The status of payments for all these fines remains unconfirmed. Fortnite is making a global return to the App Store, marking a significant milestone 1 year after its reinstatement in the US market. The Battle Royale game is now available on the App Store across most of the world, with the sole exception being Australia. This comeback follows a nearly 5-year ban stemming from protracted legal disputes between Epic Games and Apple. Epic Games is confident that current political conditions will allow the game to be installed on most iOS devices. The company is strategically banking on US federal courts to compel Apple to disclose the operational costs associated with its App Store fees, believing that transparency will pressure governments worldwide to discontinue these fees. Despite the positive news, Fortnite faces internal restructuring. In March, Epic announced plans to lay off approximately a quarter of its workforce and has discontinued several game modes, including Fortnite Ballistic and Festival Battle Stage. Furthermore, the Rocket Racing mode is slated to be removed in October. CEO Tim Sweeney has acknowledged the current challenges regarding the mobile player base, stating that the company is only in the early stages of optimizing Fortnite for billions of smartphones. He noted that navigating the industry's ongoing legal battles is a difficult period for developers. Regarding the situation in Australia, Epic explained the delay. The company is holding out there because Apple is still enforcing terms that Epic deems illegal. Epic has sought court intervention in Australia, asserting that local courts have found many of Apple's developer terms unlawful, and they are now asking the court to halt Apple's unlawful conduct to benefit all app developers and iOS users. Epic Games has announced the layoff of the character art director responsible for creating the model for Jonesy, Fortnite's most iconic character. This decision places the individual among a group of employees recently affected by workforce reductions at the Battle Royale giant. The departure of the art lead, who was integral to the visual identity of one of the world's most popular games, marks another instance of personnel changes within the company. Fortnite has returned to the App Store across most global markets, following an extended hiatus, driven by the ongoing legal battle between Epic Games and Apple. The decision to reinstate the game on the App Store worldwide, with the sole exception of Australia, stems from a recent development in the dispute. According to a press release from Epic Games, the move was prompted by Apple's submission to the U.S. Supreme Court, where Apple indicated that global regulators are closely monitoring the case to determine the commission rates Apple can charge on purchases in major markets outside the United States. Epic expressed confidence that this action signals a shift, noting that they expect U.S. federal courts to mandate transparency regarding Apple's fee structure. Epic believes that once Apple is compelled to disclose its charges, global governments will prevent unfair fees from remaining in place. The company continues to challenge Apple's practices within the App Store, specifically targeting policies that restrict alternative app stores and payment systems. Epic criticized Apple's reliance on scarce screens, fees, and onerous requirements, calling for stronger regulatory enforcement to foster an open and fair mobile application ecosystem for developers and consumers. Fortnite's journey to mobile platforms has been complex. After a 5-year absence from the U.S. App Store, the game returned in May 2026. Previously, Epic announced that both Fortnite and the Epic Games Store would become available on iOS in Australia, citing a favorable ruling from an Australian court regarding Apple and Google's control over app distribution and in-app payments. However, Fortnite remains unavailable in the Australian App Store. Epic stated that while they secured a win against Apple in the court case, Apple is allegedly continuing to enforce unlawful terms. Epic is currently seeking a court order to halt Apple's conduct and establish lawful payment terms in the interim. In other developments, Epic and Google recently settled a separate dispute, leading to the return of Fortnite to the Google Play Store in March. During an announcement regarding significant layoffs, Epic CEO Tim Sweeney acknowledged the impact of Fortnite's prolonged absence on mobile platforms, stating that the company is in the early stages of optimizing the title for billions of smartphones, and that the industry battle has been taxing for developers.